Yo, what's up, guys? Jalbert Brothers here, coming to you live.
What's going on? All right, so when we first got started doing feature films, we did our first feature film for. It's just so weird. I'm used to looking at here now.
Yeah,
we get the camera
set up.
This is pretty cool.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell them.
Go ahead.
Tell them.
When we made our first feature film, okay, we went out and we tried to raise some money and it just wasn't happening. A lot of people were like, what's your credentials? What's this? And we weren't in Hollywood. We were in an area where there wasn't a lot of that stuff going on. So we ended up getting a little bit of a budget, but it was only a budget of $3,000. Okay, why am I talking about this today? I'm going to show you the steps we took to making our first feature film on $3,000, okay? So, I got my little whiteboard here today, and I
like that whiteboard, man.
I was reading this article, and it kind of got to me a little bit. First time filmmaker, made their movie on $150,000 and didn't make a dime back. Okay, didn't make 1 cent back. Oh no, I'm sorry. Actually, didn't make any money back, but they did make like $3,000, I think, from VOD. Okay, so what I want to do here, you got $150K, right? First feature film this guy's ever done. Versus, we had our first feature film for $3,000. I'm going to show you the steps we took. Okay, first thing we did is we got the idea. Okay. We had an idea for a script, okay? We got with a writer. We kept it very simple, okay? This was in 2 locations, all right? One was in a house, one was in a bar. Everything we had access to because the investor, that was his places, right? Right? How do we find the money?
And I think that's key. I think keeping it simple when you don't have a lot of resources is key, in my opinion, and that's what we did. We knew we weren't going to get a bunch of money. And could we have even handled that much money at the time?
No, I think we would have made a lot of mistakes.
Right, and it's having that knowledge of knowing what pieces go where. And when you're first starting out trying to do a film, you don't know. So I think that was key, is keeping it simple for those reasons.
And if you're a first timer, we're saying make this on $3,000 because you're going to get so much knowledge. And I'm not telling you to get a bunch of crew people for free. You know how many crew people you're going to have? 3 to 5 max. And it's going to be mainly you. And you're going to be doing most of the work. You're going to break down the script. You're going to come up with the idea. Okay? You're going to run camera. Maybe get somebody to hold boom. You got to figure out how to create the most creative project on no budget and do good with it. That's how you excel. Not by getting $150,000 and just going into it and making a project, okay? You can't dress up a piece of shit with a bow. It just doesn't work. A piece of shit is a piece of shit, okay? If you can creatively make a movie on $3,000, okay, you can definitely do it on $150,000. Actually, I think you'll do it better on. We had a friend of ours that we met a little while back. He did a movie on around that budget. Okay? And he's going to be getting theater release. Versus a VOD release. Now, step by step, you get the idea, right? You get the script, okay? Either you're going to write that script or you're going to pay somebody to write it. We paid somebody, okay? We actually paid Alex Vincent from Child's Play. And I'm going to tell you what we paid for him to write that script. How much did we pay? I think it was like $1,000.
Yeah.
I think we paid $1,000. So our first money out from the idea was to Alex Vincent to write the script. We're not writers. We're producers. We're directors. And a sales agent, okay? We're working on becoming a distributor. We want to be Warner Brothers. That's our ultimate goal. Jalbert Brothers, Warner Brothers, okay? So we paid Alex to write this script, okay? After that, now we start casting. All right, we got some local people. We paid everybody a little bit, not much. We couldn't pay much. But another big thing here is going to be food. How much did we spend on food? I think we spent like $700.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I think we spent about $700. Okay, so we spent $700 on food. We got $1,000 in for the script. those are going to be like key things to spend money on, okay? Because if you're keeping it simplistic, okay, you're not going to have to spend a lot of money on food because you only have, like with us, we had Jake, me, I wanted to act, so I acted in it as an actor, and I would get off set, I would grip, I'd get there early. It was a lot of night stuff, so we blocked off all the windows with Visqueen. So when I got there, I would do that. Okay, Jake would get ready with camera stuff and start getting the camera department together. So you get the idea. Okay, you get the script, right? So you get the script. Script idea. Okay, you get the idea, you get the script. Now you go to casting.
I mean, where's a good place to find actors?
Casting. What are we going to do for casting? Well, if you're a filmmaker and you're locally, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and get people on Craigslist. You're going to put an ad on Craigslist casting. You're going to put on Facebook, okay? And you're going to push it everywhere. There's Facebook sites. There's Facebook. I think we did Craigslist at the time. Facebook wasn't really big on that, but now they have groups and all that, like acting groups. You can post right in there. People can tape their audition and send it right to you. You're going to find hungry actors, man. This is why you need to learn to be a salesman. You need to learn to sell. Okay? You need to understand the meaning of selling. Because that's going to help you get the writer. That's going to help you get the actors. Because they got to believe in you. And if you can't explain yourself, if you can't articulate what you need to get out of them, then guess what? They're not going to be interested. Okay, so learn how to sell. All right, so you get the idea, you get the script, now you get your cast.
And I think selling is key. Just being excited about what you're doing. When you explain something to somebody, that's what we did. We were super excited when we got our $3,000 to make the movie.
Oh, we were jacked.
We were super excited, and the thing is, we were executing beforehand. So if you stay moving and you be excited, people want to be a part of excitement. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was always big for us, being excited about what we were doing. Other people would get excited and be like, hey, I'll put up some money for that. So I think that's key as far as sales. It's not, the old way of selling is the old way of selling.
Like a used car dealer, just pressuring.
But that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about, because that never worked for us. Just being good people and being excited about the project, and when people see that you're doing from what we did, it always worked for us and got us funding for our projects.
Yeah, it's transfer of excitement. And I'm talking to first-time filmmakers. This is your first feature film. You think anybody's going to give you this? That's hard to get if you're a first-time filmmaker. Well, because you got no experience.
Right, and if you do get it, from what we've seen in an article that Brian just read,
you're going to fail. For the most part. If you don't surround yourself around the people with the knowledge to help you succeed. If you got a producer on board that's done it before and they've got things sold and they've made some money back, then that's a different story. But if you're first timer, you're getting your feet wet, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna make mistakes. We did it. Okay? Was our first feature film perfect? No, hell no. Okay? But let's get back to casting. So we got the Facebook, you got Craigslist to reach out on. That's how you're gonna do your casting call. You're gonna network with friends, go to some local festivals, and tell people what you're doing. Okay, let people know what you got going on. Okay, and be upfront about what you're going to be able to pay them, whether it's gas money or if it's just food and IMDb. Hey, if they really want the credit and they want to be a lead in a part, they're going to be willing to do it. Okay, and you got to work around their schedule a little bit. Okay, now when we got Alex, Alex wasn't interested
in acting.
He wasn't interested in acting. Yeah,
no.
He wrote the script, but we got him to play one of the parts.
And it didn't happen by. He didn't want to at first, so we had to sell him and get excited about, dude, you should act in this. And it wasn't like, be in the movie. We asked him multiple times, and finally we sold him into it. I think that's key, is just being excited and being excited about what you're doing. I mean, that's always worked for us. There's times when we're down, there's times when we're up. But when we are up, we always move forward faster when we're up.
You have to move forward, and you got to be excited. So that's how you're going to get the cast. We got Alex on board to act on it. Okay. Now, when you do this, now you're going to get to the production realm of it. You got the casting. Crew, you're really not going to have much crew, guys. And the gear that you have should already be your own gear, okay? If you're going to make a movie on $3,000, you know, you got to have a camera like we got right now. You got to have gear. Gear is just thrown into what you got, okay? This is your learning process. That gear makes you money, right? So if you're like my brother here, how long have you been working full-time doing videography, freelance, and that's all you've been doing? I think like 7 years, right?
I'd say it's a solid 6 years. I've been doing it full-time.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, guys, where you're going to make money off your gear. Your gear is going to pay you back. So you're going to use the gear you have.
And the good thing about that is you build skills. So if you're like, we're talking to first-time filmmakers and even second-time filmmakers. So maybe you made one on $150,000, but you crashed and burned, and it's like, oh, what do I do? Well, maybe you might have to take a step back to take a step forward. Meaning maybe you have to work a little bit and save $3,000 of your own money if no one's going to give you that money.
Yeah.
And building the skills. So for me, it was like building the videography skills. I was able to shoot my own stuff, film my own stuff. And if you don't shoot, I would try to team up. Like he don't shoot, I shoot.
Yeah.
So we teamed up. So you might have to find somebody who shoots, and maybe you learn how to run boom, and do it that way. So I feel like you need a second guy. You need 2 people. I would say a 3-man crew.
I'd like the 3-man crew. If you're on
video,
if you're on a $3,000 budget, you run it on a 3-man crew. You're gonna have a couple actors, so you're only feeding maybe 6 people at a time. Okay, it's very simplistic, and you're gonna cook good meals, man. You're gonna like Randy actually did a lot of the catering for us on it, who was an executive producer, and he acted in it. But he did the catering, and we cooked. Man, we had spaghetti, we had chicken and yellow rice. Like we had a lot of good stuff. Like this is not McDonald's every day. Of course, one couple days we had some McDonald's or some pizza and things like that to switch it up a little bit. But you know, you really got to take care of people when you're doing this, and you're not going to work them. Let me explain something to you too. You guys that think you're going to get people and keep them going for 16 hours. It shouldn't take you that long to shoot the movie, guys. You should be able to shoot a 90-page script in 12 days. With a crew like that, you should be able to shoot that 10 pages a day. 7 to 10 pages for your first feature.
And the way to do that is keeping things confined, but keeping things interesting. So doing things in one room, shooting...
Yeah.
You know, this guy is a genius at breaking stuff down, breaking the script down, and knowing where to shoot. Can you explain more about that? And I don't know where you're at, but breaking...
Well, I'm in production, so let's talk a little bit. So you're in production. Somebody's going to have to break down a script. When I first did House Guest, I did not have a script breakdown software, believe it or not. So when I broke down the script for House Guest, it was more up here because I was acting in it. So I knew the script inside and out, and I just wrote on the side of it. I didn't know how to break down a script at the time. This was just the way I was doing it because I just made it work. Okay, now I have movie magic scheduling, and that's because I've done some bigger stuff since then. You know, like the Burt Reynolds and Amy Smart movie and things like that, where I was the first AD on. So if I'm acting as the first AD, those are the things you got to go through. You got to go down, break down the script. What do you need? Okay, what's addressed in the script that you need? You know, what is important about it? You're going to miss a few things continuity-wise. That's just the way it works. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be done. Okay. Now I want to get. So you got the pre-production, you got the cast, and you're shooting. Shoot it quick. Get what you want. Don't overthink the process. Okay. You're not making your perfect movie. You're making a movie to show that what you can do. Okay. It's not going to be perfect. You know. You just don't have the budget for it. Okay, well, and nobody's going to trust you until you can prove what you're capable of.
And even when you talk to people that have been doing it for like long periods of time, they're like, oh, they're still looking back and like, oh, I should have did it this way. So you don't want to make something then fall way down. You want to make something the best you can and then move up. And then, you know, do one for $3,000, do one for $5,000. I mean, if you have access to $150,000, just make sure you surround yourself, like Brian says, with the right people.
Yeah.
We went to the AFM, and you talk to one guy, and you talk to another guy. The stories are totally different. But the guy who spent $5,000 and the guy who spent $150,000, who do you think did better? It's funny.
The $3,000 movie was better than the $150,000.
It was better. It was more creative, and I think a lot of times people like to throw money into it and think it's going to help.
Yeah.
It's
It's not about the money. Everybody talk. You know, just tell me to cut you off, but I hear this all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're artists, we're creative," but then they talk about having this big budget. Well, I thought you were artists. I thought you were creative. Use your camera and paint, bro. Use your camera and paint. If you're that creative, you can make a creative movie with the camera and the stuff you have and make it look good.
What's
in this
cool
day and
now
age.
is people are just watching stuff on their phone. So you could literally film something on a phone in a phone format that's more of a movie, and it's almost more relatable now as opposed to like a huge camera, great quality film. I mean, things are changing so fast. You're seeing it. You're seeing people shoot movies on iPhones and blowing up and becoming, directors and things like that. So however you have to make your name, you have to make it.
Like, look what we're doing right now.
We're shooting this, and we're actually, you know what? We have a show coming out called Haunted Tours.
Yep.
I have a C100 right now we're shooting on, and I actually use that to shoot the Haunted Tours, and I already had that. And we were able to shoot Haunted Tours at a budget that was affordable for us because we utilized what we had, and we kind of made it work. So we're like, we can do a doc reality type show and make this work. So I think it's using what you have creatively. Not everyone's going to be different. Every film or every individual who's on here watching, it's going to be a little different for you. It's hard to pin down, what is going to work for you.
Yeah, let's move forward from that. So what I want to talk about is this, guys. I want to start wrapping this up and getting this close to the end here. But we're into production. You did the production. Okay, this is important, okay? Because when you're at the end of production, this is the most important part. What the fuck do you do with it? What do we do with it? So this $150K movie, if we spend all this on production, what do we have left for marketing? Marketing is going to be the most important thing about a project nowadays because there's so much shit out there fighting for your attention. How do you get them to see it? You need to understand. That's why I said sales. Learn sales, learn marketing. This is your first feature film. Get all the fucking skills and knowledge you can, okay? If this 150 was mine, I would spend half of that on marketing. Why do you think those big movies, even though you know about them, you know about the Avengers, you know about Jurassic Park and all this stuff, the new ones come out and stuff, but why do they spend so much on advertising? Because you got to be aware of it. Like, you got to be aware. So getting people aware of what you're doing is the most important thing. Facebook, Twitter, Insta, all that shit. Let people know what you're doing, where it is, where they can find it.
Let them know.
So what we did to make our money back on this, and I know it's not much, but the point is, you want to make your money back, right? We did a premiere. We had a premiere in Ybor, and the people can contest to that. We had a red carpet for the actors and everybody. We did sponsorship, so we had sponsors pay, right? We had a banner. We had a big banner backdrop with all the sponsors' logos, and they got to walk the red carpet with us, and they got to say hi, and they got to be on camera. There's videos online you can watch of all this stuff you guys want to see. Type in House Guest Premiere, Alex Vincent, or Jowett Brothers, or whatever, and it should come up. Okay, you'll be able to see what we did if you want to try to emulate that. We had a premiere, we did sponsors, we sold tickets. Then we did DVDs on our website, and then we sold VOD, okay? And we let people know. We let people know it was there. We made it aware. Same things we're going to do with Haunted Tours.
So if
We've
you
done
guys
it with
have,
10 seconds to run.
So if you guys have a feature film that you haven't made or you want to make, shoot it in the comments. Shoot maybe what you're having problems with.
Yeah.
Do you have the money? Do you not have the money? Actually, you know what? It'd be cool to do a call, but no, it's okay. Yeah, shoot it in the comments if you guys have a movie you're trying to do. If you've actually already made a movie, or if you're trying to make a movie and you're struggling, maybe it's your second one, maybe it's your first one, maybe it's your seventh one. We've done, House Guest. We've done 10 Seconds, where's the poster right up here. Terror Talk, we're releasing next year. Haunted Tours, and then co-producer of Apple of My Eye. That's an older poster, but... So yeah, I mean, it's all, from what we did, it was all just executing and starting.
Yeah.
And I know people hear this all the time, but it's so simple, but it's just that.
But use your first one to learn. This is not going to be your 10 location, name actor, big thing. Okay, this is for you to get your feet wet, guys. Get the wheels spinning, get learning, understand the game a little bit, because knowledge is going to give you the step ahead of everybody else. Get the knowledge, okay? Get the understanding of what happens when you make a film, and where do you go with it, and how do you distribute it? Do you want to get a sales agent? Don't do that with somebody else's money.
That's
just like kind of fucked up in my opinion. Like that's just wrong. And if you're gonna go lose somebody else's money that they worked their ass for to sell them into your dream project, it's crazy if you don't know what you're doing. So learn what you're doing. Go make a $3,000 film, and if you can make that successful, do better. Now you expand. Now you make a $10,000 film, right? Then you make a $50,000 film, right? Then you make a $100,000 film. Then you make $1 million. Like that's all it's about. It's about getting better, getting the knowledge to not fail, or to fail and then get better. I mean, because you're gonna fail in some ways, but I mean, you'll reach some kind of success. You know what I mean?
If you guys like this, give it a like, give it some hearts, share this video. This video is really for first-time filmmakers, or second-time filmmakers.
Or ones that just never made a feature. Go make a feature.
And that's the biggest thing is like they dream about, hey, I'm trying to raise, 1.5 million. And that's good. That's really good. And I suggest everyone to strive that big. But you got to start somewhere. And once you start meeting people. You know this guy, and then they see you executing. I think that's key. From what we always done, we executed. Okay, they see we made something, and you go make something again. And it's all execution. That's what I would preach.
I think we're going to wrap it up today.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I think we're going to this is our first live on this camera.
Yeah, so we kind of had fun, guys.
This is cool. We're going to do more. Be here tomorrow.
We'll be here tomorrow. All right, guys. As always, the Not Fucking Around Film Crew. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Don't be fancy.
Later.
You're not Hollywood yet. We're the Jabba Brothers, guys. Thank you so much. Leave us a like, share it, comment.